Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Deep, long breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that power of you controlling your breathing. That power that's available to you all the time, wherever you are in life. That power to reconnect to your greatest gift right now. Your presence, your being. Your infinitely intelligent being. The same stuff we're all made of. And with that stuff that we're made of, we can control the most powerful supercomputer in the universe. Your mind. But only you can do it. Only you can control your own mind.
Feel the magic in the air. Magic System, Red One, Shawty. Ça va aller. On te met l'ambiance à gogo. Tous ensemble on fait le show.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis, c'est bien faire la folie.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh. c'est pas seulement pour les bobos. Nous on vient d'un nous mambo. Mon ami, si tu as le niveau, rejoins-nous pour t'enjailler.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis et viens faire la folie.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh. Ah ouais, Magic System.
Toujours nous.
Ah, ça change pas.
Ah ouais.
Ah, Shawky avec Red One. Est-ce que ça marche? Ça va pas. On vient du ghetto pour aller plus haut. Avec les magiciens, c'est Freddy Coco. On vient du ghetto pour aller plus haut. Avec les magiciens. Oh, oh, oh.
Lawrence on his in.
Oh, you can't. This could be a killer goal. Lionel Messi takes his time and walks it in.
Good morning, guys. We have been given the greatest gift ever. As human beings, we have the power to control the most powerful force in the universe, which is thought. We can control our thoughts, but many of us haven't been trained and haven't conditioned ourselves to believe that. One of the most common things I hear often when we talk about this topic with friends, family, is that it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to control my mind. It's hard to control our thoughts. Let's try to change that conversation because our words are symbols of our thoughts. So let's change it to it's possible. Control of our thoughts is possible. Let's do that even once today. When we feel our thoughts strain towards the negative, let's try to change that one moment and control our thoughts to positive. And let's see what happens day by day as we build on that. Have a great day, everybody.
How do you reignite your life? You know, if you're like ready for a big change, or you just want more vibrancy and more pop and more joy and more energy into your life so that you can actually feel happy about life, how do you do it? Especially if you've been through like a dark period of time and you're just like, I just want to turn back on, you know? Maybe you've come through a breakup or a divorce, or you've started a new business, or you just recognize like, hey, for the last 6 months, you've kind of sucked. You know, life has just not been good. It's just been like upsetting, and you're like, I need something new. I need to revivify. You know, you're in that place where you're like, I just need some new pop in my life, Brendan. How do I reignite? Well, some of you guys know I did a whole course on this with the Oprah Winfrey Network back in the day, but I've been really thinking about it lately because so many people are asking, like, okay, I feel like so much negativity. I want more positivity and joy in my life, but I also need to change because a lot of people right now, they're in transition. You know, they had this part of their life and now the career changed. And they're like, oh, I'm in this part of my life. And they want to do it better. So this still applies to you. So how do you reignite your life? I got 4 big ideas. I call it the 4 Ps. Okay. The first way to reignite your life is not to have a midlife crisis and become a metaphor. Okay, what I mean is that most people, what they do is they think, well, I must have to move. I got to move to a whole new location. I see, Brendan, you moved to Puerto Rico. It's great. I guess I got to move my life. No, my life was already ignited. I didn't have to move somewhere to find it. You don't have to be in a new relationship, start a new career, move to that new town. Often, when we want to reignite our life, we look for these big things. Well, I'll feel good when I win the lottery or that perfect thing happens. You're waiting for that perfect thing to happen in order to feel good, and that makes you a novice in personal development. And I say that with all respect because we all do that at some point. I can recognize time in my life. I'm like, Brendan, why didn't you feel better at that stage of your life? Because I wasn't using my mind well. And so I learned that if you want to reignite your life, don't think it has to be this big, abrupt, sudden, crazy change. Those can be great, but if those aren't well thought out, it becomes a train wreck and a midlife crisis versus an intentional new way of being. Because listen, that's how you reignite your life. An intentional new way of being. And that's what these 4 Ps are really going to be about. A new way of being for you. We don't have to change your marriage or your career. I'm not saying those things might not need to change, but you can reignite your life by starting with these 4 Ps. The first P is presence. Learning to be more present in the moment, more mindful and appreciative of what you already have that you've been missing. So many people think that they need something new to make them feel good when I'm like, but didn't you see what your child just did? How cute was that? Or didn't you just notice that you do have more abundance than 50% of the world? Didn't you notice that today went by, no one shot at you? Nobody tried to stab you? Didn't you understand that today there was no crime in your house? Like, if that's true for you, you're lucky. And what happens is we lose our perspective and we become people who are always attached to the next moment or the previous moment, and we're not here. And I've always found that when you can learn to get in this moment and you can breathe and use your breath to engage in this moment and you can notice the small things in this moment and just be in the moment, that when I'm here in the now, in this moment, I will always be happier. I will always notice things. I will always feel a sense of connection with life. The reason a lot of people are unhappy and they feel like they have to reignite it is because they become disconnected. They become disconnected with themselves. They become disconnected in their relationship. They become disconnected in their career. And the only thing they're connected to anymore is their phone, right? The only time there's any presence when they're like, oh, and they've lost presence with the moment, with this breath, with this joy of being alive. Like, I hope that you realize the ultimate way to reignite your life is to first have reverence for life. And if you have reverence for life, you connect with the moment. You have fun with the moment. You dance with the moment. It's all here. It's already here. You're already alive. You already won the lottery of this crazy cosmos that all these billions of cells aligned perfectly to make you right now. Please. You forgot this moment. You forgot the magic of now, and you're looking for tomorrow to make you happy when it's right here. It's a choice, it's a decision, it's an intention, it's a reconnection with the moment each day. Stop going through the day, going through the motions. Reconnect with the minute. Take notice of your breath. Take notice of what you're paying attention to. Appreciate the small things. Be present now. Because trust me, if you can't learn to be present now, where you don't feel like life is going great, when it becomes great, you won't notice either. Trust me, I coach some of the highest level people in the world, and I always find this to be true. They have everything, and they're still not happy because they never trained themselves in the practice of presence. The second P that I think is so critical is people engagement. And that is, if you want to reignite your life, the way to do that is in your current relationships, the people you already interact with, the people you already love, the people you already lead, the people you already work with. I want you to re-engage them again. You got distracted and you thought that you know everything about them. You don't know a lot about your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the people who you're working with. They are infinitely complex. But what you do is you shorthand them. You kind of like take them for granted. You stopped asking them the questions. You stopped engaging them deeply. And without depth in relationships, we'll never feel like life has its pop. Life has its pop when you're in a relationship with people and it's this deep and real and curious thing. That you honor the mystery in other people enough that you ask them questions, that you explore what they think, what they feel, what they need, what they desire. That curiosity with other people lights you up, man. But you take them for granted because you've been around them for a while. Yeah, you know your kids. Yeah, you know your husband. Yeah, you know your friends. But you don't. And once you accept that, it becomes like a curious thing again. I mean, think about all of the vibrancy and the pop that you had at the beginning of your relationship with somebody. Remember those first couple weeks of dating? It was just like magic and fire because you're learning so much about the person. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I learned this about the person. You tell your friends, oh, she's like this and he's like that. It's so cute. It's because you were curious about them. You didn't pretend you know everything. But so many of us take our relationships for granted. And we're missing the very thing right in front of us. Just like presence, it's right in front of you. The people in your life are there to make your life come alive. You forgot that they're a tool for that. They're an ends, they're a means, they're a experience. They are there with you and for you in your life to make life have pop. And don't blame them if they're not giving you that. Because that's what we do. Well, she's just negative. She's terrible. They don't support me, Brendan. Yes, I understand. And that might be true. But if you haven't fully tried to re-engage them and been present with them, don't expect them to do it for you. So first, take ownership. Ask, have I really poured myself into these relationships? Getting to know these people and diving deep. I mean, think about when someone does move to a new town. Why is it so magical? New people they can ask questions to and get to know. Well, they had people at their house too, but they forgot to do that. So I hope that makes sense. Re-engage the people around you. There is vibe and pop there like you just can't even imagine. Third P is probably it's not a sexy one. I gotta tell you, it's planning. Planning. The reason a lot of people want to reignite their life is because they're frustrated with where they are. They're not having the momentum behind them. They recognize they have unbelievable potential and they have not been activating it. And why? Because they have been leaving their growth, they have been leaving their momentum, they have been leaving their goals to randomness. Let's just see what happens. Every day, see what happens. Every day, see what happens. Every day, see what happens. And if every day is, I guess I'll just see what happens, guess what the odds are? In a month, nothing happened. 2 months, nothing happened again, because the world is good at letting you sit on your laurels. The world is good at it passing you by and not bringing new opportunities. Yes, sometimes we're lucky and new things come into our lives and it changes us. But often, we've got to architect that. We have to strategize it, we've got to structure it, and we've got to schedule it, baby. You have to think about that. You have to take back the strategy and the structure and the scheduling for you to get ahead. What does this mean? It means planning. It means I need to be able to show up in your house. You need to be able to open up your laptop or show me on a wall somewhere on a piece of paper at the kitchen table. Here's my plan, Brendan. Here's what I'm excited to do. Even if all that shows me is, what's my ideal day look like? I'm trying to work towards that every day, Brendan. It doesn't have to be your mission to go to Mars. It can just be like, here's what an ideal day would look like for me. I'm going to hit it more often than not. It's just a plan. And without a plan, without knowing what your next month is about, we end up going month to month to month, flailing about. And then one day we're going, I'm kind of miserable. And I don't know why. I'm like, I know why. Because you're the same as you were 5 years ago. And we all have within our heart and our soul the growth imperative. It's in us by biology, evolution, God, whatever you want to call it. We are meant to grow and to try to reach the rim of our full potential. But that can't be done without some planning. So think about, what do you want next month? What does your ideal days look like? What are the big goals and projects you want to work towards? Bust them down, put them in the calendar, start building knowledge, skills, and ability to be able to achieve those faster. And that's getting you a little momentum, because momentum makes life come back to full color. Got it? Other idea I think is really important is that as you're striving towards this, the fourth P is peaceful progress. One reason that people want to reignite their life isn't just because they didn't get where they wanted to be. One reason often is because where they got, they can't sustain it and they don't want to do it that way anymore. They burnt themselves out, they hustled themselves in the ground, they ground and ground and ground, and they were in the grind philosophy, and they cheated their relationships, they cheated their health, they cheated their joy, they stole away their presence because the way they were striving was not present, but also was not peaceful. You got to meet life with peace. Yes, there's that warrior part of us. Yes, there's that grind part of us. But if you ground yourself into exhaustion, that's why you feel like you need to reignite. That's why people love to go away to a week-long detox somewhere, because they're like, I need to turn off the phone, I need to eat healthier, I need to work out, I need to take care of myself. Because self-care is part of peaceful progress. To take care of yourself as you are striving isn't a luxury, is a necessity for long-term performance. As many of you guys know, I conducted the world's largest study that's ever been done on high performers, which are essentially the top 15% of the most accomplished people in any field, any art, any endeavor. And these top 15% people aren't superhuman, but one thing they are doing is they are striving more satisfied. They are joyous on their journey. They are happy with the path. They're not waiting for the destination or the outcome, and they're not grinding themselves in the ground every day with work. Rather, they're peaceful. There's a sense of centeredness to how they are proceeding through life. You ever meet somebody like that? They walk in the room and they're just so grounded and so centered and so peaceful, and you're like, gosh, I wish I had some of that. You got to practice yourself into that. So for some of you who just, you feel like always stress, always anxiety, always frustration, always nervousness, always like hustle, geez, please teach yourself to meditate. Simple. Close your eyes, 20 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and just release your thoughts and release the tension in your body. If you need a training on that, just Google me on YouTube and type in release meditation technique. The release meditation technique. I have a whole other video just like this where I teach how to meditate. 2 million people have learned to meditate from me. I'm super honored by that. It's something simple that can give you a daily break from all the noise in your head that can steal away your presence, steal away your connection with other people, steal away the motivation to pursue all that planning that you did. Because listen, you can do all those things, but if you're completely hectic, freaked out, anxious, upset all the time, and you're exhausted, there is no way. We cannot reignite your life without managing your self-care better. And I know you know all these things, but this is my invitation to you to explore. Or are you leaving any of this? Have you forgot your presence, the deep connection you have with people? Have you not been planning? And have you been progressing just like all the time versus joy? You deserve to have a vibrant, joyous, connected, excellence-filled life. That's what we always talk about in HPX. It's my brand, right? The high performance experience, HPX, high performance experience. That's what we all want. We all want that next level of experience. We all want to reignite and feel alive and have that fire inside. So try these 4 practices, see if they help you. Comment down below, tell us what you think. Share this video, build a community of people who are positive, who are enlightened, who are conscious, who are excited about life, because that will also help you reignite it all, my friends.
Do the 2-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gon' throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Let's have some fun. To the left now. To the right. Now take your left hand and put it on your side. Gon' roll your shoulders, do the slip and slide. This next part's my favorite part, cause it's time to shine. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gon' throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. It's simple, you can do it. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Now cool down, have a good time. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Do the butterfly, have a good time. Round, round, round and round you go. It's time to show out right now and take to the floor. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gon' throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Take it down now, take it down now. Take it down now, take it down now. Bring it up now, bring it up now. Bring it up now, bring it up now. Take it down and crisscross. Bring it up now, crisscross. Do whatever you like right here. Just have fun. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Don't throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gon' throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
Messi. Xavi. Dances with defenders. Lionel Messi! It's humiliating for Real Madrid. It's heaven for Barcelona. A genius at work.
Good morning, guys. Today, Oprah Winfrey shares with us her first rule and top 10 rules for success for her, and that is understand the next move. This is one where we can work on it each and every moment because our moves are affected by our decisions, and our decisions are affected by our thoughts. So what she reminds us of is the fact that all we got to know is what to do next. So something happens, let's say we make a mistake. What is our next move? You see, in a mistake is an amazing opportunity for growth. It could be an apology. It could be the next right move is an apology. And then we've now transformed that situation. And we've built some trust, perhaps, in a relationship. So understand the next right move and just do that every single time. And then we'll start to see that change in our life. I hope this helps everyone. Have a great day.
When I say watch your language, our words shape the way we think and how we feel, and how we feel determines what we do, and what we do determines whether you get results or not. I'm talking about being aware that there are certain words that you use that put your energy up and some that put it down. Certain words and phrases start to limit you. Certain words and phrases free you. By transforming the words you use regularly, you literally change your biochemistry, your emotions, your thinking, and your actions. But if you're unaware, then these words can take over your life and limit you without even knowing it with so much certainty that we begin to believe it, and then we look for ways to justify it, and then pretty soon we're stuck. But you can just eliminate the words and start to change.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need them. because being around successful entrepreneurs who are pushing, who are driving, who are doing amazing things gives me that extra little motivational, inspirational boost in the morning every day to help me go off and accomplish great things too. And I hope that this video gives you that inspiration as well. So today, let's learn how you can create your own reality. Enjoy. Rule number 2 is be careful with your words with Jordan Peterson.
You should be careful with your words, because when you use them, you're doing one of two things. You're either creating what's good or you're doing the opposite. I know no one who hasn't been radically successful who isn't radically expert at communication. And that also means they're radically expert at thought, because mostly we think in words. And when you write, you're learning to think. And when you're using the language that you've strive to master, you are literally generating the present and the past out of the future in the direction you're aiming at. That's what you're doing. That's what consciousness does. And so you want to have respect for that.
Rule number 3 is eliminate the lack mindset with Rhonda Byrne.
Every human being is a creator, and they are creating their life. And we don't know. For many of us, we did not know that that was the case. And we are creating our life through our thoughts. So it's not that our thoughts are powerful, it's that we are powerful. And so when we focus on a thought and we really hold that focus, that thought will manifest in our life. And so we create our own life through our thoughts and through the mind. Our mind is super, super, super powerful. Yeah.
For good or for worse?
Yes. So, for example, we can talk about what we want and we will manifest that, and so some people, they just see the abundance in the world, that's all that they see. They don't see any lack. They just see abundance, and everything seems to go right for them. Everything falls into place for them. They invest in this and it skyrockets, and they buy a house in this place and that suburb goes crazy. And it's like everything they touch turns to gold. But it's because they have the mindset that is toward wealth and abundance, and they don't have a mindset toward lack. And we have a lack mindset when we say things like, I'm broke, I don't have enough, I don't have enough to pay my bills. And you see, whatever we say is what our life will be. And so if we are saying, I don't have enough money, then by law of attraction, we will not have enough money. We will continue to not have enough money. So what we have to do is we need to speak about what we want. And we need to talk about, for example, if it's money or if it's health, or if we're not feeling really great, then we can talk about what it feels like to be really well, instead of talking about not being well, right? Because if we're talking about not being well, we're attracting more of that, more of that, more of that.
Right.
And so that's basically law of attraction. I mean, it is so wonderful and it's so intricate. And the more that it becomes a part of your life, the more you see the little kind of twists and turns.
Synchronicities.
Yeah, like for example, if you're saying, I'm so overwhelmed, there's just so much going on at the moment and I can't get on top of things and I'm just overwhelmed. Guess what? Guess what's coming? More overwhelmment.
Right.
More.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 4 is speak the language of money with Cody Sanchez.
If you speak the language of money, you usually make more of it. Man, this one is so true. There's a bunch of words they use in finance that take people from really, really rich to outside of the loop entirely. Most of us don't speak the language of finance, and I think that's on purpose. I think people in finance do not want you to know the secrets to wealth because that makes it easier for them to keep it. But there are so many terms: EBITDA, ROI, cash on cash return, expense ratio. The list goes on and on and on. Actually, there's a whole article here on it if you want it. But if you actually want to get real wealth, you have to learn the main terms. It's pretty easy to do, actually. You could take a couple courses on YouTube. But this was actually told to me by one of the wealthiest partners at Goldman Sachs. They came down in the beginning and did a little lunch and learn with us when I was at the firm. And we were asking a bunch of questions, and he was using jargon, EBITDA, for instance. And I remember one of the people in the room raised their hands and they said, "What does the term EBITDA mean? Can you explain that?" And he kind of looked at the person with like snooty Goldman air, as we did, and said, "I don't know how you got a job at this firm without speaking the language of money." That term, exactly, the language of money. And he said, "You go find the answer to that. I'm not here to be your dictionary." And it was such a perfectly Goldman response, but actually he was right, and so it always stuck with me. Learn the terms, then you can make the cash.
Rule number 5 is stop being a victim with Robin Sharma.
The words you use really are like a context or a framework or a stained glass window on the way you see the world. I mean, here's a game-changing insight. You see the world not as it is, you see the world as you are. You see the world through a lens, and your language forms that lens of belief. I mean, your lens of belief and your personal filter on reality is not really a true filter on reality. It's just the filter on reality that has formed as a result of all the words you've picked up from the moment you were born. So when you were a little baby, your mom and your dad used the language that they were taught when they were kids to use. And if they use the language of victimitis, and if they use the language of victimhood, like, well, you know, you can't do this, I hate this, I'm tired of this, money doesn't grow on trees, be ordinary, if you're successful, you'll be hated. All that messaging that we pick up from our parents and the media and the world around us and our peers, the little kids that we used to play with in the playground, or the friends that we had as teenagers, that will either lift us up or tear us down. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and hopefully I'm making the point clearly for you, but we see the world through this personal filter, and a lot of this personal filter that drives our performance and our behavior is really constructed from the words that we've picked up and then the words we are taught to use. And so the right angle turn for you to create exponential energy, mindset, productivity, creativity, results in the world, results in your life, comes down to, in part, a really intelligent use of your words. And like I said at the beginning of this mastery session, most people are really unconscious about their words. And that's why most people are not getting rare air results. So what are some of the words I encourage you to shift from? Well, don't talk about what you hate to do, talk about what you love to do. Don't talk about problems, talk about opportunities. Don't talk about what makes you tired, talk about what makes you inspired. Don't talk about your past, talk about your future. Don't talk about what broke your heart, talk about what opened your heart. Don't talk about what dispirits you, talk about what you are fueled by. Don't talk about the things within your life that are not working. Talk about the things in your life that are working. Don't talk about your pain, talk about your pleasure. And you know, if I were sitting with you right now coaching you, I mean, I am coaching you, and what I would encourage you to do as soon as I finish this mastery session is pull out your journal. And if you're not journaling, please start journaling, because journaling is a ritual you want to install into your days. Joan Didion said this: "I don't know what I think until I write it down." Think about that. I don't know what I think until I write it down. And so in your journal after this mastery session, pull out a fresh page and draw a line down the center of the page and write about the language of victimhood and the language of leadership. And start to write down all the words you use and the sentences you employ that really are speaking, that are really victim speak. And then in the other column, I want you to start writing down the language of leadership, the language that as of today you will be committed to using so that you start to use the language of someone who's world class. And I've given you some examples, but doing that exercise will make it really clear. And as you know, clarity breeds mastery. Bottom line is this: you are built to be a leader. You are not constructed to be a victim. And once you get your words right, you are going to start noticing daily shifts in your energy, your focus, your momentum, your confidence, and your output. And when you start getting those words right, you start lifting your professional life, your personal life to a whole new level of wow. And guess what? That is what you are meant to do.
Rule number 6 is start thinking positively with Lewis Howes.
When you talk about gossip and you talk about bad news and you talk about comparison and judgment and anxiety and stress, that feeds in a community of other people that speak in the same language. So you want to shift.
My horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the bag, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, ha, you can whip your Porsche. I've been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch. Now can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Riding on a tractor, lean all in my bladder. Cheated on my baby, you can go and ask her. My life is a movie, but riding them. Cowboy hat from Gucci, Wrangler on my. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. Hat down, cross town, living like a rock star. Spend a lot of money on my brand new guitar. Baby's got a habit, diamond rings and Fendi sports bras. Riding down Rodeo in my Maserati sports car. Got no stress, I've been through all that. I'm like a Marlboro man, so I kick on back. Wish I could roll on back to that old town road. I wanna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
Zambada Toquero, mira la fe jugada interior para Eto'o, Gorka, solta Messi, gol, 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 gol.
Cristiano con Ronaldo.
Good morning, everybody. I want to share with you a personal story again to show how we can live and laugh and love our way to infinite mind wealth. I want to share a story of my students. I had a young student yesterday, 4 or 5 years old, come up to me and say, no matter what, Mr. Francis, I control my mind and I never give up on controlling my mind. I had a young 4 or 5 year old say this, not in those exact words, but I thought, wow, that's incredible. So when we start to think of ourselves, wherever we are, whatever we're going through, young children can learn that it's possible to control their thoughts. And therefore we all can. It's just we have to work at that every single day. But I wanted to share that with you because I thought, wow, that's truly living our way to infinite mind wealth. Step by step, one person at a time, one child at a time, and it's possible. So I hope that helps. Remember that, everyone. Have a great day.
What's made you successful?
I have all these stupid little sayings that I tell myself all the time or tell employees or whatever. And one of them is the one thing in life that you can control is your effort. And I always work my ass off. I went 7 years when I started my first company without a vacation. I lived like I was broke because I was, and obviously today I still do. I don't know why me in terms of why I'm here and somebody else isn't, but I've always just tried to bust my ass and be smart about it and always keep learning and trying to improve.
Need motivation? Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need it. I need it for me because I don't wake up every day and say, yes, let's go conquer the world. No, I wake up and I need that external motivation to match my internal motivation. When I see somebody who's doing amazing things, it makes me just want to play a bigger game. And so I hope that today's video makes you want to play a bigger game too, because your message matters, and let's get it out to the world. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Mark Cuban, and my take on his top 50 rules for success. Enjoy.
How do you fight the fear to take the risk?
You don't. You accept it, and you use that as motivation. I can't even tell you how many times I was terrified. You know, when I first started my business, Barbara's right. You know, when you're broke, you got nowhere to go but up. I was sleeping on the floor, eating mustard and ketchup sandwiches. I had nothing to lose.
Right.
And so, you know, and I was terrified that, look, if I didn't make my next sale, my business was over. And that just kept me going because I didn't like sleeping on the floor. I didn't like gaining 30 pounds because the only place I really ate anything was going to a bar, buy $1, $2 beer and eating $30 worth of fried mushrooms. And that motivated me just to keep going and going. And, you know, that fear is going to be inside of you no matter what. I don't care where you are in your life, you are going to be afraid at some level, and you just got to keep on working. And part two to that is if you do the work and you're prepared, that's what builds confidence to overcome that fear and work through it.
How often do you educate yourself a day? Like, is it like an hour? Like
every day, every minute, everything I do is about learning more because that's the only way I can kick your ass. You know, it's not. I'm not going to out athletic you, right? It's not about my basketball IQ. It's about my business IQ, right? And technology and business, and everything's always changing. If 5 years ago, if someone would ask me about artificial intelligence, I wouldn't know, right? Yet AI is the most important part of technology and really business going forward. So if I'm going to be an effective investor, an effective mentor, an effective, operator of businesses, even with the Mavs, I got to understand AI because, like with the Mavericks, when you talk about analytics, it's changed so dramatically, even over the last 5 years, going from, different types of things per and, advanced RPM and all these different metrics for basketball to how do you implement artificial intelligence and pose estimation and computer vision, and how do you understand all that stuff to make the right decisions for the Mavs? And so if I want to be in a position to make those decisions and not just ask somebody else to do it, I got to learn it. And so I put in hours, I do tutorials, I take little online classes, and it doesn't make me an expert. It's not like I'm going to sit, I could get a job if I needed to running AI or running tech for a big company. I couldn't. But I understand all the concepts and understand the issues and how to apply them to business. So if you're going to be good at anything, you got to stay ahead of the game. And business is the ultimate sport. I used to say it to Dirk, and now I say it to Luka. It's like, dude, you play 48 minutes, a 48-minute game, you practice a couple hours, you go home and you relax and you play, you play Call of Duty. Business is 24/7. I'm going every day because there's some 16-year-old kid out there trying to kick my ass in one of my companies, and it ain't going to happen, right? And so I'm that competitive, and I'm that, I work that hard at learning to try to stay ahead of the game.
Michael Jordan had the body, he had the temperament of a champion, so he goes into sports. Do you think they call that bounded rationality? Instead of saying, I could be every possible thing in the world, you kind of limit it and say, all right, I'm more of a math guy. Oh, I'm more of a people person. And then you try to find your destiny within that?
Well, I think they go hand in hand, right? Because the type of person you are, kind of points to the things you're good at. Are you 12? You're not going to know. Are you 16? You're not going to know. If you're 18, maybe if you have a special talent,
Yeah.
Right? You know, you can throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. You can sing and your voice is incredible. You know, you're, a concert pianist, you're a chess grandmaster. If you have a specific skill set or talent that just immediately propels you to the top, yeah, you want to follow that.
Yeah.
But I remember having a list, I still have it, when I graduated from college, or was getting ready to graduate, and all the different industries that I thought I might want to partake in. When you find something you're good at, go for it.
Yeah.
And I also always say it's not about passion. Everybody's got passion for something, right? Don't follow your passions, follow your efforts. Because
And here we are again. Back to where it all begins. Where it all begins and never ends. That source, that oneness, that consciousness, that awareness. That we know is in all of us. That power to determine, to control our minds. You see, nobody else, nothing else in this universe can do what you do every day. In the gym of life. Only you, human being, only you, infinitely intelligent being, can do the ultimate. Only you can control your mind, your thoughts, and therefore your feelings. But it takes
Thank you.